I love it. I love it. Chill bump time. Great cutscene. Great pause. 2. I repeat, 2 Scarabs. Best playable ending to a video game ever. I absolutely love it. I've got him in this corner and oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's real fair. Invincible. Yeah. Oh, great. Now I'm stuck. This is just wonderful. Oh, and of course.
The will of the gods.
Here we go. Oh, come on! I hate Halo 3. So, the question is, do I love or hate Mission 7, The Covenant? Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, bringing you another entry in our Halo 3 Love It or Hate It Legendary playthrough. We are on glorious mission number 7, The Covenant. I almost said Cortana. I can't hold back my excitement. I cannot wait to do this commentary. This, in my opinion, is the absolute pinnacle. This is the best mission in the franchise. Believe it or not, despite any negative things I may have said thus far about a Halo 3 campaign level, this one is just sweet, sweet wonderfulness. And here we are, about to get started. I'm sorry, I hate that I cut the opening cutscene. It's one of my favorite, but anyway, let's get to the start here. So I like to blow it up, throw a grenade over there, but I immediately go to the right and start shooting dudes over there, dodging grenades. Just using the BR's wonderful bullet magnetism to take out grunts that are an immediate threat. I put down the Spartan laser in favor of a Needler. Come around here, the Brute is almost always going to be up there on that rock there. Just take him out. He usually goes down a little bit quicker than that. Pick the Spartan laser back up and get ready to take out any grunts that are remaining. Then we're going to Spartan laser these 2 turrets, aiming slightly in the direction where enemies might be standing, trying to get a little bit of a multi-kill. Sometimes you can get a lot. Sometimes you only just get the turret and the guy manning it. And then I aim right for that power core thing there on the Wraith and blow it up. And then now we can go forward. I'm looking right now for some grunts to kill. If I can get both of them with one Spartan laser blast, I will try to do so. Don't worry about the Chieftain, we'll get him later. It's not a big deal. So as we're kind of getting closer and closer, we're still trying to test to see if they will group together. He throws down a regenerator like a moron because that's going to help him a lot right now. I'd love to get rid of the grunts because of the grenades that they will throw. And we get rid of all 4 of them with a couple of BR rat-a-tat-tats. So I've got 2 plasma grenades, and I'm going to try to stick both of these guys. I think I can get one of them here with a nice little curveball, and the other one, the other bodyguard, I don't think he was close enough to take any damage, but I'm going to throw a grenade up there anyway to see if... No. So we just BR him down, and by coming over here in the way that we just did that, believe it or not, the Chieftain gets distracted oftentimes, and usually you can just go up and backsmack him. Now, he will cheat and turn around even though there's no way in the world he could see you, and Spartans are supposed to be pretty stealthy, but anyway. So we take out that grunt that was hiding over there, and we're going to juggle these 2 power weapons. I want to have one of them in the Marines' hands at all times as we take on this first section. The first order of business will be to find a Marine and get this Spartan laser in his hands. By doing so, we will have a much easier time taking out the Banshees that will be a problem for us very, very shortly. So we'll pick up or take his shotgun and ultimately switch that out for the fuel rod, which we'll be giving him later. Get him out of there. We don't need... Oh, goodness. So when this happens, instead of playing a lot of games with him here, what I usually like to do is just give the weapon that I want to the Marine that's nearest or in the vehicle, as opposed to trying to get that specific Marine that had the Spartan laser into my Warthog. So this is the scariest part of the mission, in my opinion, is the very first part, because these Banshees are no joke. The fuel rod that they fire can track. We just got fortunate there and was able to outpace it. Then you have 2 grunts that come up here, and this being out in the open like this just is very hard to deal with them, unlike in the next area where I feel like, for some reason, things feel a lot fairer and I take a lot more aggressively than you might imagine. There we go! So we're going to leave the Spartan laser in his hands right now. We could switch out the fuel rod, though. That would probably be best, just to inundate that area over there with a bunch of fuel rod blasts. But we're not taking the time to do that. We're just going to gung-ho it here and hope that we can take out this Jackal and Grunt. We get overcharged, which kind of stinks because ultimately that could have resulted in us getting grenaded, but our gunner was able to remain active, and I think he kind of kept those Grunts, well, at bay-ish. Anyway, MLG Grunts, man. That's what you got to deal with sometimes. So let's switch out the Spartan laser for the fuel rod, and let's get the show back on the road. So in this section here, you're going to deal with, I think, 4 ghosts, a wraith, eventually 2 prowlers will come in as well, and then I believe we have 2 stationary turrets. It could be 3 if there's 2 on this side, but I can't remember for sure. There's one that's way over at the other end, and we won't have to deal with it until later. So you can stop this Grunt from getting in his ghost if you so desire. Actually, we kind of killed 2 right off the bat there, so that was pretty nice. And now we have a 3rd that's coming up here. We take him out pretty fast and pretty quick. Yeah, it's just the one over on this side, so 2 total. We dodged that ghost by just going around this rock for cover, and that will be a big big and key component to us taking this much more aggressively. As we have, even though we have a slow Warthog that somehow gets slower in the water, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but man, it's already slow. We can kind of use these rocks for cover from the turrets that are on the Prowlers and the Wraith, and just let our guys continue to gun at these vehicles until they go down. Looks like the Wraith has made it down. So now it's time to take out the 2 Prowlers. We have to be very careful of these guys because they are, again, they're pretty beastly with the turrets, as you would imagine. So without hitting anywhere close to Master Chief, and us doing a pretty good job of dodging them, we lose our shields, but that's okay because we've got a gunner that's going to tear those Prowlers apart if the fuel rod guy doesn't first. Looks like he was the one that got the kill on the driver of that Prowler we just saw go down a minute ago. So we have a Prowler that unintentionally is kind of hiding here. I guess it shouldn't have been hiding if you think about it, because we destroyed the driver right there, and of course it stopped. Again, we got our shields down even though we've taken no direct damage, and again, just a smidge or so here and there from the turrets. So now that this guy is focused on the indestructible Pelican, we'll go ahead and take it out, and then come up here and mop up any of the stragglers just for fun. Just for completionist, obsessionist type things, and boy, it almost cost us there because our idiotic Marine had to shoot that fuel rod right at that Jackal, which was right near a rock, which was right near an energy box, blah, blah, blah. That cost us in the arc, but it's not going to cost us here, baby. So I like to just let the fuel rod and the the turret guy just go at it here. Looks like we got a Brute that's in cowardly cover over there, or he is stuck, and so we'll I'm just watching him with my eye as I let my Marines finish off the rest of these fellas. And let's get us a grenade over here and see if that gooses him out. May goose him out just enough to get destroyed by our Marines, and it does. Yippee. So I'm going to run over here, and I'm going to take a battle rifle here, I think it is. And then I'm going to hand off this Spartan laser to this Marine because I don't want it, at least not right now. I want him to hold on to it, and I want him to use it later, if he stays alive. Sometimes he doesn't, which is fine. He's not essential. 2 grenades up here, 2 plasma grenades, and a beam rifle, which we will use indoors because, it's legendary difficulty, and that's the way it goes. Whatever works, baby. Whatever works. Grab us a spike grenade. Grab this camo. I don't even know if I use it in this playthrough. I don't use it all the time, but it can be helpful. You never know when it might come in handy. So we're just kind of mopping up these initial grunts, I guess. Mopping up's probably not the right term there. So there's grunts up top to the right, and there's grunts on each side of this room. The ones on each side generally don't bother you, generally. So it's the ones up top and the ones in the center you want to be concerned with. Here I'm actually looking for the brute. I don't notice that red dot there because I'm focused on that jackal. He actually makes his way around and trying to flank me, but he failed miserably. And so we were able to get the melee kill there. Again, more grunts over here. And we'll have more grunts over on the left side as well. I hear grunts yelling, but I don't see them over there. Now the thing about this side, that is the last grenade throw I'm going to bonk for a while, I promise. Now the thing about this side, of course, is we have jackals with carbines. Now I don't know if I've mentioned this, but jackals have the most ridiculously stupid headshot hitboxes, just like they did in Halo 2. It's so stupid and ridiculous. So you just, you got to be careful. You can press the same exact buttons, put the reticle in the same exact place, and get totally different results against them. So just, watch it there, especially if your shields are running a little bit low. Our BR happens to be running a little bit low, so I'm going to grab their carbine and take it into this next area. Now the key in this area is to try to use the energy boxes as best you can. So the first order of business after I killed that guy is to use that energy box. Here the shield jackals are guarding the energy box, probably not on purpose, but who knows. I wouldn't put it past Bungie on Legendary to have them be aware of its placement, but won't help them for long. Notice how we get a big multi-kill there, and it looks like the last guy that's going to be in there is probably the brute, so we're going to pick up this needler and just really fast hopefully take care of him. Hopefully not taking any major brute shot damage. There we go. Let's go back and pick up that beam rifle or the carbine. Whichever one you drop, go pick it back up. And it looks as if the coast is clear here, so we're going to go ahead and fill up our carbine on the other side. If you notice here, there's an area where you can jump to. There's a terminal over here, a power drain, and of course, and some plasmas, and of course the carbine crate. Alright, so the way I usually take these guys out is with the beam rifle, but you can use cloaking and go crazy if you want to try it, especially in the lower difficulties when the cloaking will last a little bit longer. And I forget that's a window of sorts there, so I miss a shot, so I got to make up for that. I'm truly thinking of that when I'm playing this stage. I'm like, I got to make up for that, man. I cannot miss another shot. I got to get some headshots. I got to do something better than that. So let's see if we can't three-shot this chieftain. 1, 2, 3. Bitch, that's what happens. And you, friend, get that. My present to you and your race. And of course, look at that. We get invincibility. Oh, sweet Mary. I love to get invincibility. And the gravity hammer. That's going to come in handy later, don't you think? We come out of the cutscene, however, and like an idiot, I accidentally pressed the X button and used the invincibility. I do that about 30% of the time. I hear it go, and I'm like, oh my god, what an idiot. I did it again! So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to get that cloaking, which is almost just as good. It lasts longer, at least. And I won't be keeping the gravity hammer. But I'm going to trade it out later. I'll show you where I trade it out in a little bit.
Chief, you need to link up with the Arbiter and proceed directly to the third tower. Make your way back to the beach.
Let's see if we can bonk another grenade. How about that? Let's just throw it right over their heads. And I think we threw it all the way to the back of the room just then, but we'll get this stick right. He's just standing there. He doesn't really know what's going on. Kills his friend for us, and then a chain explosion kills the jackals. Just as I planned for it to all occur, and orchestrated it so massively with that, that grenade toss, the spike grenade. That was just a distraction. That's all that was, man. Alright, I do want to make sure the Marines come with us, because like I said, I do want to have the Spartan laser guy and the fuel rod guy if they're still alive, because they will make great companions on our Hornet. I mean, the Hornet's already overpowered, but then you put a fuel rod and a Spartan laser, one on each side, and whoa, you got quite a conundrum there if you're the Coveys. Alright, so come on up back this way, and we're going to stop over here in just a little bit and grab a beam rifle to use in pretty much the same way we just did that beam rifle before. But if you like better weapons or a different loadout, of course, feel free to do things as you wish. But for the way that I'm doing it, especially if you're having a lot of trouble, you need to go ahead and grab that beam rifle for the next brute field room we'll come across. Not the next one, but the one that's just like the first tower there. Here we go. Oh, I will be happy to escort them. No problem at all. No problem at all. So let's grab the Hornet here. Make sure our two guys get on. If they don't and linger too long, then who cares, man? You're in a freaking Hornet, man. This thing's got wonderful damage resistance. It's got infinitely firing machine gun rounds. It's got tracking missiles that have very little cooldown. To me, this section embodies the best of a Halo vehicle section. Overpowered vehicle against lots and lots of armor, and that's exactly what you have here. And notice how we took a fuel rod blast there. Notice how it tracked, but didn't hurt us all that much. I mean, certainly we can't take too many of those, but I don't remember the lot. It's been at least a decade since I last died at this section. So just stay back, stay high, and don't let the Banshees get too coagulated there right next to you, and you should be fine. Take out the anti-air wraith, and if you choose to do so, then take out these brutes that Phantom dropped off. I have no idea what their purpose is. Don't know why they would be put down there or what they would be able to do. I don't know anyone would want to go down there. I don't know, maybe someone might go down there and take out the anti-air wraith on foot. But anyway, easy targets. Let's get back at height, about the same height as this Phantom. We're going to kind of be keeping machine gun on it here and there, but for the most part, we're not going to worry with taking it out until we take out its escort of Banshees here. The Phantom is not that big of a danger. Of course, it's firing its turret at us now, but again, easily dodgeable in this Hornet. Not too big of a deal. So notice how when we have a break from the Banshees, just keeping the machine gun fire on it, because we will want to take it out. Alright, we've got more Banshees circling, as you see there, above, or slightly above the Phantom there, and they're going to be the next order of business before we work on the Phantom, and then ultimately the Wraiths that are in the next section. 3 in total, 2 anti-air, 1 regular purple Wraith. Notice how I kind of screwed up there and almost let that Banshee get a little too close, but we're good. We're good. So let's finish off that anti-air wraith. I think I had a good idea that it was one missile salvo away from being destroyed, so I just moved on confidently like a champ with swag. And there's 2 stationary turrets down there. Not too big of a deal at all. One of the cool things about this section that really helps you out is that you've obviously got a lot of other aerial allies that are going to take on a lot of the fire. One of the things I'm not careful of here, or not careful enough of here, is the brutes that are up here. We just took a brute shot there. Notice the damage it did was very minimal to our vehicle and relatively minimal to our shield. So there's a reason why I didn't prioritize that, and it's because I don't generally have problems there at all. If they happen to remind me of their presence by shooting me, then I gun them down pretty fast. So at some point, the elites will join in combat. Sometimes from the air they look like brutes, but do not be afraid, they aren't. Try not to shoot them, just, to keep, human Sanghelia relations intact. It's a tenuous alliance at this juncture, so anyway. I like to arm a couple of these. I'm just going to move this out of the way. It's in my way. I'm picking up a weapon that I don't care about, and I'm going to go all the way over to here and grab a fuel rod from a fuel rod case. A lone fuel rod gun from a fuel rod case. And that is going to be our primary means of killing the hunters that are in the next section. And also, if we get fortunate, hint hint we do, take out maybe a handful of those drones that initially spawn in. But in the case that we don't do that, I want to actually make sure there's kind of a nice, decent, healthy, I'm putting a good carbine down there, and I'm giving the carbines that I'm finding here, I want to at least have a couple of elites outfitted with carbines, and then the rest of them can have the plasma rifles. Not a big deal. I don't focus heavily on making sure they're armed properly because the weapons they do have are pretty good against all comers. Alright, so we're just going to use sticks here and try not to use the fuel rod as much as possible. And, of course, try to stay out of the way of the elites, because they will certainly get in our way if we try to engage in a lot of combat here. So anyway, I can't remember if do I hand off another carbine? I might hand off another carbine, just in case, because I'm seeing a lot of plasma rifles there, but anyway.
Your journey has begun, brother.
He said my journey has begun, brother, so I'm ready. I'm ready for a journey. So the buggers will come down first. So let's shoot at their pile and then right at that center pole there. And we get, I think, 7. So that wasn't too bad at all. That'll keep our elite allies alive just a little bit longer. They stay alive really well throughout this section here. So until the floods show up, of course. But anyway. So notice what we're doing here. I don't know how that went through his freaking legs, but I guess it did. And I'll just have to accept that. Now, the Arbiter is right there, so I don't really care if he gets fuel rodded alongside that Hunter. The fuel rod, for all intents and purposes, is done at this juncture, so I'm going to go back and, this is probably a little unnecessary, but I'm going to go all the way back and get the quote-unquote good carbine. But to be honest with you, using any of these dual-wielding plasma rifles would be just fine. I say that now, but I really like to still use a lot of grenades. The brutes that come out to attack us in these next couple of sections, their paths are pretty predictable and linear, so you can always have a really strong chance at being able to grenade them. Alright, so let's just keep on keeping on. We have plenty of elite allies here. It feels like there was more than just 2, but I might be wrong. Alright, nice little stick there. I think it went through somebody's legs and then landed to stick another guy. So I think we have a couple of different of those brutes that are de-armored. But you have to be very careful here. We get a nice stick there with the spike grenade. You have to be careful here because some of these guys are carrying maulers, and especially on Legendary, those are no bueno up close. And spikers are also very tough up close. We didn't get a stick there, but we did get a kill, and I think we de-armored somebody. So that was kind of nice. Brute said, "You sicken me!" I love the brute and elite chatter. Oh my god. I guess I should have known this would happen, so we'll slow down things for a couple of seconds there. Man, if I was on Heroic, I'd take a Mauler and a Spiker and head in there, dual wielding, and have a blast, but we're on Legendary, so I'm trying to find this last guy to get this over with. Oh, he's right there, it looks like. I think he has a Spiker, so I'm not going to be overly concerned. Not like I would with a Mauler that can get the... I think he can get a one-shot kill, or maybe a one-shot D-shield and then a second-shot follow-up kill, but anyway. This is why I like to keep elites alive. I didn't stick them, but I did get a couple of kills, or at least one kill with that spike grenade, but this is why I like to keep them alive. They're going to do a much better job and be much more resilient. Much better job shooting these drones and much more resilient against their attacks. Because of course, I'm on Legendary, and they are friendly AI grade in their ability to stay alive. I don't know what that means. Friendly AI grade. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. They're tough. They're tough guys. Alright, so now we're going to have a bunch of guys going to cloaking. Hopefully I won't make the same mistake. I did make a mistake and shoot that early. The elevator still had to come up. But anyway. So notice we've got... You can kind of see them much more easily through that window. Well, at least I thought you could. I keep on trying to kind of shotgun them, so to speak, from long range with this weapon. Oh, is he without a shield? If he's without a shield, then he can be needlered, which is why I picked this up. And there we go. I think I'm going to use the cloaking here just to make this a little simpler. Oh, man. Alright, so this is very important. This is the second scariest part of the mission. This is where, whenever you come out of the cutscene, the Flood like to try to jump you. I do not want to flare. Get it out of here. It will not help at all against the enemies. They do not respond to it as far as I know. Please tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. It might change a couple of strats that I use when I play this game. So a couple of plasma rifles. I've got the turret here with me. I've got a mauler, so I've got a needler, so I think I'm ready to go here. I think. Alright, so let's wear them down, and then when they get close, we'll wear them down with the plasma rifle, and then when they get close, we will slap them with our little pistol-sized shotgun here. Oh gosh, they're coming from behind. No good. That means they might pick up the weapons that I dropped and stockpiled here. That's no fun. And of course, the plasma rifles do a good job against the infection forms. Oh crap, he picked up that mauler. Yikes. Come on now. There we go. That didn't go so bad. So we pick up the other of the plasma rifles. Almost a full clip of mauler here, or a max amount we can carry. I don't know what this dude's holding. I think he's holding a pistol, and he just took my shields down in 3 shots. For you multiplayer guys, does the pistol take, is that a perfect kill? Is 4 shots a perfect kill? Is that how that works? Anyway, he almost took me down. With 3 shots, I was de-shielded there, so very close to getting a perfect kill on me there. So even though there are maulers in that case over there, there is no more ammunition for it, so for them. I think I was looking to see if there was any more over here. Not really sure what I'm doing here. There we go. I think I was trying to, yeah, I just wanted to go with, I think 2 plasma rifles at all costs here. I put the needler down, which I'm a little surprised about. I'm not really sure. It really doesn't matter. I think the Mauler, I'm just checking to see how much ammo was in that. I think the Mauler plasma rifle combo is really good in close quarters, relatively close quarters. And then when you get to where there's a lot more distance, I think it's best just to dual-wield plasma rifles. You're going to see me dual-wield plasma rifles a lot in the next level. We'll get to that when we get to that, but I'll try my best to show you, because I will be doing it, how effective that combination really is, if it's not apparent already. And by the way, I did not mention this in the last video, where I think was I don't know if this is true, and I think Floodgate was the first one where I used the dual-wielding plasma rifle loadout there. But by the way, if you want to keep them going and going and going, you want to alternate your triggers. Back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and then if it gets heavy, you always have the option to go full auto with both. But usually I don't try to do that unless I absolutely feel like I have to here. So notice how we're getting a lot of infection forms that are reviving the bodies that were just killed in the original battle here. And we're just, I mean, if the Arbiter could move, that would be just freaking great. But, you know, I got to deal with friendly AI and all the Halos, and I guess I just have to accept it. Notice how I took 2 fresh plasma rifles from the case over there. I left those there earlier on purpose. So now I'm grabbing some carbine for the next section. Here, you essentially, in theory, what you would do here is get your loadout for dealing with the Flood. Oh, I'm sorry, dealing with the Covenant when the Flood are your allies. That is the next time you will need weapons on foot. So in this case, I don't find anything particularly special, so I'm just going to go with 1 plasma rifle and the carbine, because we cannot carry dual-wielding weapons on or in a vehicle. So it's totally up to you. You can get the Gauss Hog if you like, but my advice to you, of course, is to get the Scorpion tank. This is a relatively short Scorpion run, but it's sure a fun one. And I love how this works. I love how this kind of demonstrates on some level the way these Halo rings kind of work. Notice here how I'm sorry, not Halo rings, but Forerunner structures. We go from a jungle beach-like section to a cold section just by passing through this kind of portal, or door, if you will. The main thing you need to be worried about here is a brute that has a fuel rod. Of course, the Prowler is a concern, but we usually take care of it all right. It's the tracking rods of the tracking fuel rods that the brute will fire at us. Also, power drains aren't fun to deal with either. So just make sure and kill everything at range as best you can, and you should be golden. Of course, it wouldn't be a terrible idea at all to stop and pick up that fuel rod. Like I said, we need to think about what arms do we want to have for that battle against the Covenant when the Flood are rushing them as allies. That's a tough battle on those bridges, we'll talk about it when we get there. So it wouldn't be a dumb idea at all to pick up that fuel rod or take time looking for weapons that you want before we even get in the tank in the first place. So notice here we've got some ghosts, prowler or two, some stationary turrets. It shouldn't be too much to handle at all. Obviously we got these sniper towers, but no snipers are actually in them. No matter, they wouldn't do much to this tank either. Anyway, I kind of lost concentration there. I always get chill bumps at this part because I absolutely adore the piano-based version of the Halo theme. Guys, I really love this level. I really love it. If I had to pick the top level of all 69 of them that's been in franchise history, not counting Lone Wolf and counting Mombasa Streets as one mission, it's 69 total, believe it or not. This would be number one. This would be my absolute, unequivocal number one. Alright, so Wraith, I think there might be a ghost left over, or did we pass it? I think we passed it and it was, no. I don't know. Anyway, take out the turret and the Wraith and stuff, and then take out this infantry. I think there might be some scary dudes over there, but nothing, again, we can't handle. Yeah, I think that's it for everything. Oh, there's another fuel rod there, so yeah. Not a strat that I didn't do. May want to pick up the fuel rod. That's two different collections. You could even hand them off to Marines if you wanted to, but I'm not going to stay in this. If you wanted to go down and try to fight the Scarabs in the tank, but that's not going to be what's going to happen here. We've had enough with the tank. Now it's time to get back in our Hornet here. Again, overpowered vehicle against lots and lots of armor. And boy, do we have lots and lots of armor. I count 2 Scarabs. I repeat, 2 Scarabs. Is there a better combat set piece in the entirety of the franchise? I don't think so. So I like to focus on the Banshees first, because I think they're the sneakiest. They're the ones that could come up and damage you pretty fast with a tracking fuel rod. If you're taking on fire from one of the Scarabs at the same time, obviously no bueno. And then if you want to do this the right way, or the most, I guess, safe way, you then focus on taking down the Scarabs at height. That is not what I do here. I am instead going to risk it because I've done this a million times. I'm going to take out the ground vehicles as well, but now that we have 2 Banshees that are coming back in, we only get 4 total, so we're almost done with them. Again, in my opinion, the scariest, probably because of the damage they can do, and then have, again, these weapons of the Scarabs mop you up. I guess vice versa could occur as well. So this here, the goal, this is the way I approach this section when I have the 2 Scarabs and no more Banshees. So this is oftentimes what the Scarabs will do. They'll kind of charge at you very intelligently and try to get under you, essentially decreasing, if not eliminating, your ability to do damage to them. When that happens, I just come over to the next one and just go back and forth until we take them out. Or until we take one down, I should say. Just notice here, we're taking some flak here from its main weapons, but nothing that we can't handle. Just keeping constant machine gun fire on that armor. Don't think it works all that well, but I know it doesn't hurt. So we're going to get those missiles to track close to that leg there. Now this Scarab is in the perfect position for it to go down, because guess what? We can use it as cover against the other Scarab and its weaponry. So just keep putting missiles into the back there, that piece of armor, and then a missile goes right in there, and it immediately is ready to blow up. Lovely. Now that we've only got one Scarab left, we're in pretty good place here. I'm still flying pretty low though, and that is a problem because at this juncture we will have more vehicles come into the area. We have 2 Prowlers, I believe it is, that come in, so be wary of that. Oh, gosh, our Gauss Hog is still going down there. How about that? So we got this guy down, and we're just going to do the same thing to it that we did to the other Scarab, and it is gone. So let's get some height here, and we can't get some height here because that stupid Pelican comes right at us, and so now I forgot about getting height, and now I'm trying to I'm just going on the offensive now. So let's see if we can't take these down. I'm definitely going to be doing that before I leave. Come on now. There we go. And the last of the 2 ghosts that were there. There it is. Alright, guys. Let's get ready for the finale-ish. We still got a lot of mission to go, but this is kind of the final section, if you will. That's right, Arby. You get your revenge, buddy.
If only we had more time.
Ever since I first played this level, I always thought it was so weird how the Arbiter's voice, and when he's talking right beside you, is so kind of normal, and then just out of nowhere, almost, you know, startle response inducing, calamity, if we only had more time. And I don't understand why there has to be a difference in the volume of their voices, but there is nonetheless.
For a moment of safety.
Oh, this level's one surefire imperfection. A very, very difficult to understand and nonsensical Cortana moment. It's really not that. They had to explain that. Well, that moment kind of got explained in the in a short story in, I believe, Evolutions that came out a couple of years after this game was released. So at the time, it was pretty nonsensical. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So notice how we focused initially on the grunts in the back. Nice. And the grunts in the back with the fuel rods. There will be 2 more that come through that door in just a little bit. So, you know, once you take care of the first 2, don't think you're out of the woods yet. Oh yes, throw a grenade at me despite all the flood that's supposed to be charging you. Yes, throw it right over blind. This game, I tell you, man, knows no bounds when it comes to fairness and decency. Alright, so we've got a grunt on a turret there. I'm going to see if I can stick him from afar. Nah. But it did kind of hurt that brute a little bit, it looked like, maybe. Maybe? I can't see his armor. I can't tell for sure if he's hurting. Yeah, he's hurting a little bit. And he makes the big mistake of getting on that turret. So we're just going to take him out. We're out of carbine, of course, which is not cool. And now he's on the turret. I don't have a headshot weapon. The Flood really aren't doing a great job as allies here, as evidenced by the fact that these 2 fools are still alive. There goes the 2 grunts with fuel rods. One gets on a turret. We're going to throw a grenade over there and hope that that at least knocks the turret off. But to be honest with you, we're not out of the woods there either, because it probably is better for him to have the turret than the fuel rod. So anyway, so as you would imagine at this juncture, we need to start collecting. We need to start collecting that fuel rod. So let's go ahead and do that now. I don't think I find the 4th one, but that's okay. We've got 20 rounds. I do not know why in the world I didn't do this, but I did not pick up that turret. That's not a bad idea. Does a good job of saving you some ammunition for this next section, which this is the hardest section in this on this bridge area here. We've got jumpers, we've got a lot of brutes up front, and then we've got a chieftain in the back. The Flood won't stand a chance against them, so best thing to do is to treat it as if the Flood aren't even here, and focus on doing as much killing as possible. Not saying the Flood won't get kills, especially if they start to revive combat forms, but it's just, you know, You just don't rely on them to do all the work for you. God bless. That was carbine sliced right through me there. So notice how we've got the fuel rods in play. I usually get ready for them about at this barrier. This seems to be where I start to get shots fired at me. So, but just watch it closely. Of course, I used the needler there to take out a lot of brutes, as you saw. And I'm using the fuel rod now to take out grunts. That did not kill that grunt, it appears, but I did get the first one. Not sure why that is, but I guess it just is. Those fuel rod grunts are crafty, I tell you, crafty. Now, we get really fortunate here and find us a carbine that's pretty handy without even having to look for it. So I'm going to see if I can get a grenade. Oh, I love that grenade. I just fastballed it from that jump. That was nice. I think we get another awesome grenade here in just a little bit too, so let's see, get that over there. We don't stick him, but I think we kill him. That worked out pretty well, man. So let's see if we can't get this chieftain's helmet off and headshot, so we can move forward. Come on, there we go. Oh, we still got that grunt. Look, he's hiding behind that wall, but not for long because the spike grenade will stick him. That's what you get for throwing those blind grenades. I don't know if there's another guy behind there, so I just figured I'd throw one to test and see. And I pick up the invincibility here, which I don't even know if I remember that I have it, because I think there's a point, it seems like somewhere along the way where I looked at it and thought, wow, I could have used it. So I'm going to grab one plasma rifle here for some reason. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to remember what I was thinking with that grab, because I want to get a shotgun. There's one reason why I want to get a shotgun here. The one reason why I want to get a shotgun is because I don't want the flood to get it. There we go. Because that guy will revive and grab the shotgun whenever we're no longer allies with the flood. Alright, so we're going to go out of that very long cutscene, and we're just going to use our shotgun and melee attacks to get rid of these dudes and whoever else is ready to come up here and tangle with us. The fuel rod is in my back pocket for any and all comers. Now, you might see me shotgunning the little infection forms there. That's because they are dangerous enough to shotgun. Because all they have to do is inhabit one of these bodies, and you know, that dude will present a problem potentially. So, yeah, you'd rather jump off than have me stick you. I know what you did. I know it felt the depression of my grenade throw there, and just it took off before I could even throw it. That's fine. You go ahead and jump off. That took a lot of skill for me to get you to do that. So this is what I call the hell door. Hell door number 1. Just start calling it that now. As you notice, there was a shotgun on the ground. There's a brute shot there. Just spam the crap out of the fuel rod. That's what I like to do there. And if Arby's in the way, then so be it. Really doesn't matter, because if he dies, you know, he'll come back to life. So the problem with using the fuel rod here and trying to shoot at the ground is, as you notice there, the rounds will bounce off if shot at a close enough distance, which is no good. So you just got to hope that you hit the enemy, or that there's splash damage if you are able to actually get it to explode into the ground. Kind of an annoying feature of the fuel rod, but it's always been there. At least in Halo 3. There was hell door number 2. And notice here, we're just waiting for these guys to come. These super shield elites will not die to 1, 2, or even 3 fuel rods. So if you get one of those and you're blasting him and he keeps running, stick him. If there's at all a possibility, stick him with a grenade. Now, at some point here, I am ready to give this weapon up. I don't really like to have it for too much longer. I do, however, want the sword, just to say I have it, I guess. It's really not that much better or worse than the weapons, than the shotgun, but I do like it. It makes me feel safer. Maybe I'm already mentally preparing for the next level where I will be using it a lot. Alright, let's just finish these guys off. Oh, a Needler. I think that's what I dropped before. That'll do us some pretty good if these guys are super shield elites. Any one of them. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Get that lunge going. And that should be it, guys. Oh, sweet. Sweet Mary it is. The Arbiter just keeps yelling over and over again. I think he's without a shield, and I think the flood infection forms are attached to him. And that's why he's doing that. Alright, guys. Absolutely and utterly love it. My favorite level, probably in the entirety of the Halo franchise. Definitely in the Halo franchise. We are done with the Covenant. Well, guys, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say in the comments section. If you don't like this level, I will respect that. I would love for you to write why you don't. But and if you enjoy it, you just want to revel with a bunch of people I'm sure who enjoy it as well, please feel free to do so in the comments section that I mentioned just a second ago. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy my content. Hit the like button if you like this video. And if you haven't already, very important, click that notifications bell. That way you'll know when anything new is released. You'll find out as soon as you load up Google or turn on YouTube or whatever it is that notifies you. As for now, however, this is JP3 signing out. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you very, 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 very much for watching. Goodbye.